There's a lot of hype around Google Stitch right now, which is a completely free design tool that aims to, kill Figma. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to redesign my site, Screencraft. So what I'm going to actually do is take a screenshot of my site, zoom way out, take a screenshot, attach it to this prompt, and then there's this awesome site called motionsites.ai. And what you can do is you can scroll through them and find things you like. I thought that this one was, kind of an upgrade to my site. So you just copy it and then paste it in here. So I said, the attached screenshot is my current site. I like the content on it, but it feels a little basic. I saw a website that was styled like this. I pasted in what was copied, gives all the colors. I did have to change a few text elements. Like I had to put the items that were in my header. At times I said headline, use copy from screenshot. So we'll see if that works. Put that in quotes. And now there's 3 ways to do it. There's 3 flash, which will be the fastest. There's thinking, which will give you better design but take longer. And then I saw this redesign option. So redesign existing apps or sites with Nano Banana Pro, attach a screenshot. So I'm going to choose redesign because that's what I'm doing. So let's hit generate and just see how it does right off the bat. All right, here we go. So that is the first pass. It took about 2 minutes. This is my original site. Seems that it kept most of the same copy. Honestly, kind of like the new redesign. It definitely, this one, in my opinion, looks very vibe coded, which it was. I just basically said, make me a site to get this going. This one looks a little more human coded, I would say. It has more character. I don't know if I like the white background. And then let's look at it compared to this one. Yeah, it looks decent. So let me see if I can just say, I like it, but I'm not a huge fan of the white background. Let's give it a pass 2. Okay. A lot more similar to my old site. I like how it put gradient text. That definitely gives it a little bit more flavor. Went from this, here's first try, second try, third try seems to be about the same. Now, how do we actually export this to Claude so that I can get it working? But since I already have the flow of my app, I don't want to break any connections. I don't want to change any copy because I've already been working on that. I just want to make it look less vibe coded, which I think this is. So I basically just said, hey, this looks great. Can you create a brand identity and can you create a DESIGN.md file? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste that into Claude. Okay, cool. So here is the Screencraft guidelines. And here is the DESIGN.md file. So my thinking is to just screenshot the brand guidelines and copy the entire design.md. Now I'll go into Claude. I've already said hey, what's the best way for me to bring this stitch design in? I'm going to want it to have it update existing styles incrementally. So what I basically said is let's update our site incrementally and use our current homepage as a source of truth for copy and UX flow. I simply want to make design changes, not functionality changes. Attached is a screenshot of the design files, a screenshot of the site that was designed by Stitch. Just use this as a reference. And I'm going to paste the design.md file here. Can you save the following design.md file and then build out a new version of the site and local UI webflow that's specific to my product in a separate folder so I can see it and test it first before we override the current site. Let's see what Claude does. Here's the old site. And now let's start up the new site. Is it better? Right now it has failed. So let's fix that. Be right back. How you fix that, of course, is you just paste the screenshot into Claude and let it do all the thinking. All right, so now it should work. Old site. 15 minutes in Google Stitch, new site. Pretty good. Okay, do I even like it better? I will probably add in the logo that we created and I will add some sort of video background here. Okay, great. So it didn't one-shot it right away, but I did have to go through Claude and just kind of notice where things weren't updated. Add some changes. It didn't add this gradient background, but I just kind of spoke to Claude, told it to do it, blah, blah, blah. It had the design kit that it got from Stitch. Here was the old website. And I think this new website pops quite a bit better. Took maybe 45 minutes of work. In the past, that would have been quite a bit more. That overall Stitch was helpful because I could quickly generate ideations, and then I could get the design.md file and a brand style guide, and then just kind of plug it into Claude, tell it what to do. It didn't one-shot it off the back, but with a few, going through the pages and being like, hey, change this, it did end up, in my opinion, making the site a lot less vibe codery feeling and have a bit more pop and a bit more style, I guess, a bit more like of a human touch. So I do like that. One thing you'll note is I didn't have a logo before. Again, this is a new project, so it just had this little triangle, and I did end up using this logo. What I did to do that is while Claude was cooking, I basically just went back in here and I said, hey, knowing everything you know about my project from the site copy and the brand guidelines you gave, can you generate me a few logos? I ended up settling on this, which I think is pretty cool. The downside is it wouldn't let me export it as a Figma, which is an SVG. I could only download it like a PNG, which made it sort of not much better than Nano Banana. But the cool thing is there's this awesome app called Quiver.ai, which generates SVGs. So it traced it. I just uploaded the image, selected vectorize, and said, turn this into it. From there, I downloaded this, and then I made some small changes inside of Adobe Illustrator. And there you see it in the top left corner. So again, in about 45 minutes, I have a site that looks more professional, in my opinion. New one on the right, old one on the left, and I have a logo. All of that is thanks to Stitch and then Claude Code. Okay, cool. Thank you.